Hey everyone, to copy my friend Ray. How's it going, everyone, this evening? My name's Jen, and I'm super excited to be here to talk to you about some things that um, really have not been awesome this week. I had a horse that had a severe colic, and this has been, sorry to start off bumpy, but this has been really challenging. Um, I had my horse Trace, who you guys know, that those of you that know me, that he's sorry guys. It's been a rough week. But it's been a blessing too in a lot of ways. And I'm going to get to all that. But I wanted to give everyone an update, like kind of the final update for Trace. And he's doing great. He's back, just almost back to his normal self. I'm still like soaking his hay and doing all the things and stuff. But one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to get on here this evening and talk about colic. I want to talk about what happened with Trace, how his case was quite different and interesting, and just kind of answer some questions about like what happened to him, what with Trace specifically, but also with horses that colic in general, because it's a tricky thing. And it was funny because when the veterinarian came out, I asked her, I said, is there any like internist that like that's their specialty, like an oncologist or a radiologist? Is there a colicologist? And she was like, no, just like internal medicine. And I was like, okay, well, there should be. Because, following that, she said, yeah, and, she's dealt with thousands of colics and, all the veterinarians out there. Colic is a big deal with horses, you guys. For my non-horsey friends, please feel free. Ooh, we have some comments. Ask me anything. Great. You can ask me anything. So please, if you're watching, drop some comments or ask some questions as we go through this, because it's an interesting story. So she said there's really no colicologists in the horse world. So, and if you're here too, please let me know so I can say hi. And if you've contributed, I can say thank you. And if you have any questions, I can direct them to you. So if you're watching, drop me a little hello, because I'm getting ready to dive into what happened with Trace. It was a really interesting case. Even the veterinarians were saying that. I had 2 clinics and 3 veterinarians come out and support him while he was going through what is called, if you're like, again, for my non-horsey friends, what it's called colic, if you think like a colicky baby. But with horses, it's a lot different because they can't regurgitate, they can't throw up. So if you're feeding a horse and they get something kind of, stuck in their gut, there ain't no one way out, right? And they have very small stomachs. So it's kind of, it's interesting. Horses have small stomachs, and the reason is because if you're a prey animal, if you're a flight animal, you can't be rolling around with a big Thanksgiving dinner in your gut. If the shit hits the fan, no pun intended. You're going to hear me do a lot of stupid puns tonight, guys. Just get your popcorn. So they have to be able to jettison the fuel and take off. And if they have a lot of things going on in their guts, they're not going to do so great. I mean, you look at a cow, like they got 4-chambered stomachs, and it's a little different scenario, right? They aren't flight animals the same way that horses and gazelles and zebras are, right? Excuse me. So if you think about it, they have like kind of like this long tract, and it goes all up and down their bodies and has like these hairpin turns. And in ethology, we kind of jokingly say, in the real world, we say, oh, well, it's a bad design. Well, nah, not in ethology, because horses in the wild don't get colic, not like domesticated horses too. And you think about, here's a great question: is colic preventable? Is colic 100% preventable? Kind of like founder. I mean, like with like super rare exceptions, it happens way too commonly. Way more commonly than it should, if common is the word. So I want you to think, just ask me some questions about it. But as we went along, he's not pooping, right? So there's a traffic jam going through his gut, right? And so I'm going to show a slideshow about what happened with that. But it was a crazy case. It really was crazy. So and I'm kind of like rambling a little bit because I can't quite like all the things that happen. So here, let me just get the slideshow up. This will help because now we'll see what it looks like. So it started with the pizza, right? So I have Tuesday, and we were going to stay in the barn, and I was hungry. So I'm just like hanging out, watching Trace. And this was before the veterinarian came. This was on Tuesday. This is Tuesday night, Tuesday with Tuesday. And we're having some pizza, and Trace isn't looking so great. Right. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So let me stop. So there, he's not looking super good there. And so I'm like, all right, so let's get the veterinarian to say tomorrow morning, first thing, call the vet. So that night I went past that slide really quick because I actually went up and like rectaled him and got in and pulled all of his poop out that wasn't supposed to be there. And, he should be like moving it through his gut. And here's Tuesday. She's already got her head in going, is he okay? So this is now Wednesday morning, first thing in the morning. And I'm like, this is not good. We need to call the veterinarian. That's what his urine looks like. You're going to see it. And then little Tuesday, she's so cute. She would go in and poop. See a little poop there. She's like, this is what you do, Trace. It was super cute and sweet how she was showing up. But you see how he's trembling there. Oh my goodness. Why is this slideshow? I don't want it to do it this way. All right, hang on, guys. Technical difficulties. But he was in such poor shape. He was trembling. Here we go. Like, I've never seen a horse tremble like this. Like, he was in so much pain. Just, he wasn't cold. It was not a cold day. And then Tuesday decides to run to the neighbors. So I've got like complete and utter chaos happening at my barn. So that's my neighbors. She's visiting those guys. And then here we go, call the vet. We got to have it. She came out and she did ultrasounds and blood work. And then we did what is commonly known in the horse world. It's called tubing. So we tubed him, and she rectaled him, which is what my hand was all gross about, but she had a glove. Unfortunately, I didn't. Tuesday's watching on. It's interesting to see what happens with Tuesday when she does this, because it's like she's like a little caregiver. When a dear friend of mine was struggling with her horse in the hospital, Tuesday was running up and down the fence line after I would come back from visiting him, like whinnying and like, is he okay? And so Tuesday's very, very intuitive, this one. And this is the tubing process, or part of it. The thing on his nose is called a twitch. And oh my gosh, you guys, please don't judge. There's get to and got to, and this was a got to situation. And the reason we do that, it's a little rope that goes around the sensitive part of his nose. So it's basically like saying, hold still, and like grabbing you by a very, very sensitive part of your body. So it's certainly not ideal. You don't want to put them through it. But if you're concerned that they're going to be flipping their head around, a sore nose takes second chair to, that tube that is going up his left nostril into his stomach, rupturing his stomach. So kind of the lesser of the two evils. It's certainly not ideal, but he had that done 3 times that day. There's Tuesday being her sweet little lookout self. So he had the tubing done 3 times that day. And then I don't remember if we did IV fluids that day or not, but he is so bloated. Can you imagine having like 6 gallons of water, pumped into your stomach? Yeah, no. And so now it's 9:29 at night, and Tuesday's here, and she's just like, yeah, we're getting ready to go to sleep. I've got my cot out in the barn, and she's just checking in on everybody. Like, just, there we go. It's time to go to bed. That little nugget. She does such amazing stuff, this one. She's just a healer. All of my guys are. They're really very, healing animals. So yeah, there she goes. And then she just stood there. She'll just stand right there all night long, standing guard. And there's my bed, and there's, we're getting ready to go to sleep. I'm trying, I got some marshmallows and some chocolates. There you are, Ray. Frey Higdon, if you're watching this. I know you got you guys and your s'mores, but just trying to make the best of a not so great situation. Poor Trace, he's just so miserable. And yeah, there's our setup for the night. So that was second night in the barn. getting a good night's sleep. And then, oh gosh, he's peeing Gatorade, you guys. It was, there we go. So then second round of IVs. This is now, I guess, God, what day are we on now? Wednesday, Thursday. We're on down to Thursday. This started on Monday. And look at his face. He's like, God, get me out of here. So he's getting all kinds of vitamins and minerals and nutrients, not minerals, but he's getting some stuff in these IVs. Meanwhile, we're still shoving tubes down his throat, into his stomach. And it's interesting too, because horses' esophageal pathways aren't the same as ours. They can actually breathe and choke at the same time. Like if we get something caught in our throat, it's like we're choking, but it's not the same with them. So the vet has to be very careful to where they put that tube so they don't end up putting it in their lungs and actually drowning them. So again, another reason to put that twitch on their nose, which I don't like it, but you don't want to drown your horse because we can't get the tube down the right pathway, right? So got some IV fluids going in. There's 2 bags, which is 5 liters each. And I figured out 5 liters is about not quite 1.5 gallons. So he's getting 3 gallons of IV bolus, like pumped into him. He is not happy. And now after all that, his pee looks like jet fuel. Yeah, he's super uncomfortable there. That was a tough day. Thursday was tough. He had a lot happen on Thursday, 2 sets of round bits. But then here we go. Was it 16th Thursday or was that Wednesday? It had to be Wednesday. I'm getting my days confused, guys. Let me double check this. Yeah, Thursday. That was Thursday. So Thursday night, Thursday, 8:45. This is what a horse looks like if they're getting ready to poop. This is what it looks like. And the funny thing is that the veterinarian was kind of, we were like still hoping he was going to poop and everything. As he said, when he finally does poop, it's going to come out like a corgi, just like a big long corgi. And I was like, well, what are we going to name it? So all my friends and I got together and we decided to name him Steve after my ex-boyfriend. So the first poop we came out, we're like, come on, Steve, so we're, again, make it the best of not such a great situation. Right. So we're looking at this and here we go. This commentary. Okay. I'm funny. I'm just funny. So here we go.
Come on, Trace. Come on, Trace. You can do it. Come on. Here it comes. Oh my God. It's a corgi named Steve.
Now we're like, I'm celebrating. It was like a good solid poop. And then he didn't poop again for like another 24 hours. And he was still miserable. And his pee still looked like Gatorade. Sorry, Gatorade, Budweiser, whatever. It looked awful. So here we go. More IVs. This is, I got 1.36 times 2. So 2 2.75 gallons. We tube him again. I'm not sure if we tubed him again that day, but yeah, he did. Now here's the interesting thing. And this is where it kind of gets interesting, squirrely, sideways, like what? He starts acting like his normal self. Now he might be just feeling a little bit better and be tired of being sick. I don't know how you want to spin it, but he's still got like a ton of in him, right? He has not pooped this out yet. And now this is the next day. This is 24 hours after we got our first Steve, right? You ever watch that movie with Nicole Kidman and Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston called, God, what is it in that movie? Just Go With It, right? And like Jennifer Aniston's like nemesis is Nicole Kidman's character, and her name's Devlin in the movie. And she's like, teaches her kids to teach, what are you going to, you got to go poop. And, he's like, you're going to go take a Devlin, right? So we decided to call that a Steve. So, but here's where it gets interesting. So he's like just doing his
fancy trying doing.
Right. And so we're all excited about the poop, and it's in the afternoon and he still hasn't pooped again, but he's acting like pretty good. Right. So, okay, fine. But now we're coming up on, that's 18 hours since his last poop. Nope, not having it. Here we are. So we get this is my friend, Sabrina Ragsdale. She does chiropractic work. And you guys, I've had a lot of chiropractors. I've had a lot of chiropractic work, and she's young and she's hungry about what she's doing. I mean, she's passionate about what she's doing, and you guys, she's good. She's really good. She's helped my horses a lot. So I was really thrilled to have her come back out and give Trace a chiropractic adjustment. We've been doing, okay, here goes the holistic side of this I haven't even dove into yet. It's like we've done all this Western medicine stuff, IVs and shots and, Banamine. And then we've got essential oils, and I'm doing energy healings, and all of my friends that are, and thank you to everyone. I should have just freaking led with that, you guys. Thank you for everyone who's reached out and helped him, get through this, sending love and prayers. And I've been doing my theta healing work on him and pranic healing and any kind of healing we can do to support him. And so between red light and essential oils and, keep it all coming. I don't care what works as long as something does. Right. But I hear it does. So this is what he did after she adjusted him, or after she did like that first part of the adjustment. So he's all, look at that.
This is what happens when you get a good chiropractic adjustment.
Yeah. So he's all right. So, he's feeling better again. So that's good, but not good enough. Right. So here we are boiling the water to pour over the mash, to mix up, to give to him. While she's over here doing this work. And so you can tell when she's back there, if you look at his face, he's like, I'm not sure about that. And more tubing. Now I get to hold the twitch this time. Not fun. You guys, there's different kinds of twitches. These ones are very effective, but man, if you're holding a twitch like this, if you're ever in a situation like this, make sure you hold on to that pole that's in my right hand that's attached to his nose. You hold on to that. Don't twist it, but just hold it like a death grip, because if he pulls it out of your hand and starts swinging his head around, that thing can hit you in the face like a baseball bat. So it's really tricky to doing this stuff, you guys, is not easy. Yeah, for Poopy Steve. Hey, Jody. Hey, Jody. Yeah, it's so funny you call him Poopy Steve. One of my good friends used to call him Poopy Bear. Like, that was his nickname. Anyway, moving on. So we've got the poop. We've got one poop in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. We've got one poop. It's like, holy cow, you guys. This, it's killing me, Smalls. So we did the red light therapy. We got more and more IVs. And look at Tuesday. She's been here. I haven't posted a lot of pictures of her with, like, I was paying more attention to Trace, but she was right there. She was right there with him the whole time. And here we go with more IVs and red light therapy. And just, by this day, I'm tired. And another night in the barn. Oh, by the way, for those of you that know what is sitting there on my cot, it is a Wawa sandwich. I don't eat Wawa sandwiches very often. They're definitely an indulgence, but they're one of my favorite trashy indulgences that I love. And I got the sandwich on my way home from doing a lesson, and Tuesday turned it into a sandwich. She opened that wrapper up, helped herself to the whole thing, threw it all over the barn floor, and I didn't get my sandwich. I was so upset. Yeah, Trace agrees. So yeah, he's getting ready to yawn. I'll give him a few minutes out. Look at that beautiful full moon. It was the wolf moon too, you guys. And better. So we've had some more fluids, so we're getting better, but still no poops. Oh, look at that. More fluids. Red and pink and blue and orange and Gatorade for the veins. So we're keeping him hydrated at least, try and, break that shit up that's inside. And he's feeling better. That's the thing that's really throwing everybody off, is that he hasn't pooped for like 6 days, but he's feeling better. He's breaking into the tack room. All right, here we go. More steamed water. And he's trotting. He's like doing his thing. In the Spanish, here he goes, doing that Spanish trot. And what got me about this, like as he's doing the Spanish trot that he's trained to do, or he knows how to do. But what's interesting is that he was just kind of offering it. I certainly wasn't asking for it. And it made me wonder if it wasn't like starting to help jostle his gut and help him feel better. More on that in just a minute. All right, here we go. 8:44, Saturday. Are we on Saturday already? Yes, that was Saturday. So we're at 9:00 at night on a Saturday, more IV fluids. And he gets to have a little bit of food. Hope that's all wet and mashed up like sloppy joes. to see if he'll kind of fit that will help stimulate it. So I'm like literally feeding it to him like by the handful to make sure he chews it and he doesn't get like a big ball of hay in his mouth. I mean, we're really just like, going through that process. Another night in the barn. I bought that cot to sleep in the barn. Thank goodness. Cause I'm kind of weird that way. And it was dark, but it was kind of a cool shot. I had like my little Christmas lights on. And here we go. Sloppy Joe's, right? So I take it and I make it nice and sloppy, right? Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. So he can get as much liquid in his gut as well as get some nutrition and get motility going. So that was 8:56 a.m. He's doing a little bit better. And then by the afternoon, he's down for the count. Oh, crap. Like no crap. Like he pooped, but it's just like so intermittent. And it's such kind of a random thing. So this is kind of cool. Side note. Now that I'm not so stressed about Trace, like this stuff would puff up. Look at it puff up. It's like it's alfalfa cubes is what it is. So I pour a lot of hot water on it and cool, huh? All right. I'm a kid. And the pee's a little better. So we got more IV fluids in him. That was like at almost 11 o'clock at night. So, and it was so bad. I had to call another veterinarian because we had used up the entire stash of the veterinarian that was on the case. Like that was like all she had. And then the next day, this is really cool. I mean, this is crazy, you guys. I can't even tell you how crazy this is. He was out in his stall. I was putting him out in the pasture so he could move around and kind of keep his gut moving. And then a friend of mine told me a funny story, and I don't have all the details right, so don't hold me this, Nancy, if you're watching. She said she had a horse that had presented with a pretty bad colic, and her gut was like caught on her hip or something really weird, to where if it didn't pass, she was dead soon. And so Nancy put her in her horse trailer and drove her up and down a road filled with potholes and bumpy and like to get it dislodged. And sure enough, it saved the horse's life. So funny, and this is where this video is coming in, is that Bella was at the gate and she was rearing and kind of tossing her head and striking at the gate and acting as if, and I was like, what the heck? And because I didn't have him in with all the other horses. I needed to make sure I could monitor, his poop and stuff like that. So she was like, let me out. And I was like, And then I remembered Nancy's story that she had told me. And this was the result. So there was more. And Tuesday, look at Tuesday.
All up, so I thought my horses are saying, let's play. So we're letting Trace move around. Everybody's playing. One of those cold, brisk days. Look at little one go. Come on, Woo!
I love her.
All right. Well, obviously, we're not quite out of the woods yet, but little one wants to try and help him get moving. You've got to move it.
And there you go. So that was the next video. This was interesting too, because Maverick was doing the same thing. They were trying to like
helping each other out here. Say, come on, Trace, you can move. Move and groove and hopefully poo.
Yeah, so interesting. And then this was a thank you video for everyone that offered their support, which if you didn't receive this video and you did support me, I will send you another one because I'm very grateful for everyone that has shown up. And then this was okay. We're good. We're doing better. Maverick's like, are you okay? And when I woke up at whatever time of day this was, and I saw those two playing like this, I was like, okay, we're in the clear. We're in the clear.
Oh, hey, Mom.
Okay, Tuesday. There she goes again. So that was really the saga of Trace and how that showed up. And so many things happened that were so like unexplainable if you really weren't there. The way Tuesday was sort of, healing and the way he just was presenting so in such a bizarre fashion, and to like the pooping then, and then then it really got me having these conversations about all the different kinds of colic there is for horses, but there's no like specialty in it. Sand colic, like Tuesday had sand colic, gas colic, impaction colic, and on and on and on. And so there's got to be a better answer than just, shove a tube down their nose. I mean, for every single type of colic. I'm not saying that the tubing is bad. I'm just saying that different colics need to be handled differently. And I just think that there is more to it, that there's more research to be done in this area, that there's a need for it for sure. But there's definitely a need for me to thank everyone for their support. Trace is a unicorn. He has helped so many people. If you are watching this and you have had an experience with Trace in person, or if you've done one of my courses, please let me know. When my little miniature Carmelo, little Stu, he was white with blue eyes like Trace, when he passed away, I had so many people reach out and tell me how that little horse had touched their lives. So those stories are why I'm here. Like they feed me. So if you've had an experience with me or one of my horses for, in any way that was positive, please let me know. So I know that I can know that I'm on, I'm on the right path. We all need that feedback and I want to hear your story. Like, that's why I'm doing this. Is these horses, they change us, they shift us, they move us. And the things that happen that I can dive into around how he saved me in this. Like, I went out one day and it was drizzling. It was sort of like that rainy kind of day. You don't get too many of those in Florida, but it was one of those sort of days. And I just put my hand on his chest and I said, Trace, what do you need from me? And he says, I don't need anything from you. He says, I need you to stop worrying. Don't worry. Don't worry. And and then of course I lost it and prayed to God. And then I went out to, we started getting to the point where we were going to start having to have hard conversations. We were like, okay, what, the clinic, are we going to do surgery? And I already, before we even said a word about the next step, surgery was not on the table. Trace was not going on to get cut open at 23 years old. I wasn't doing that. So that promise was already made to him. But going to the clinic, additional, I have almost $10,000 in veterinary bills. Like, so thinking about taking him to the clinic and how is that going to disrupt the barn? My current dynamic at the barn, Maverick, the other horses that are obviously those videos, you guys, where they're obviously here and like helping him, to the additional cost, to the stress on him. There was a lot of factors, because a lot of people like reached out to me and said, well, why didn't you take him to the clinic right away? And I'm like, well, first off, just add zeros to the bill, but no, more importantly, the fact that the disruption to his environment and his care. So the vets came out, 2-3 times a day, and just were caring for him in his home, just that, to the best of their ability. But the next step would be to take him to the clinic. So it's 24 hours. And I was pretty 24 hours, guys. I have not slept very much in the last 11 days, but we got as close to doing that as possible. And then the tough decisions, like the veterinarian said, you got 48 hours. You got 48 hours and we need to start making some tough decisions. 48 hours passed and those conversations were starting to be had. And that was, my heart shattered. That was too much for me. So I went out and talked to him. And I said, and I made a promise to him and to God. I made a promise to this horse that had saved my life. He's the reason that for my TED Talk, that's what it was all about. It's like he saved me in ways back then that I didn't understand. And then he saved me again on this trip in ways that I never could have ever anticipated. So I made a promise to him. And if he pulled through, that was tough. And he did. So now I have a promise to keep to this beautiful, majestic unicorn of an animal that's given me almost 20 years. I've had him almost 20 years, guys. 20 years with this animal. And it's not like dogs, even old dogs, maybe if you get 15, 16 years, my dog Hank lived to be 15, or Henry lived to be like 16. I apparently they live old in my world, but horses go through seasons with you. They live 30, 35 years sometimes, and they go through multiple seasons. My horses have been through my divorce. They've been through my homelessness. They've been through a lot of my devastations, all my any times of my heart's been broken. They've been through so much with me. I got Trace when I was 30, and I just turned 50. So there's a lot happens between when you're 30 and when you're 50, and these horses have been on that journey with me, come what may. And what is coming for me is my responsibility to them and God to serve them as well. And that had led me to the decision to start a horse rescue. In the middle of all of this, I'm like, let's fill out some tax forms, let's start a nonprofit. But it's in these moments of crisis that truly show you who you are and what your character is and what you're made of. And God showed me a little glimpse to the inside of myself and to the inside of my soul, and what I'm meant to do with my purpose in the rest of my life, however long that's meant for me to be here. Because we never know when the bus is going to stop, guys. Be grateful. Be grateful for every moment and every day. And I'm grateful to all of you who's been sending me love, sending me money. If you want to send me some more of that, I'm not going to cry, because, we're working really hard to make sure all of his veterinary expenses are covered. And just to say, I love all of you. He's a rescued animal, or he's actually not technically my rescue, but he's been through some serious SHIT as well. But that's my vision, is to rescue horses so they can do this work. And for all of you that supported me, thank you. For all of you that would like to support me, please reach out. And as I say at the end of all of my videos, when you learn to believe in yourself, anything's possible. Anything. Have a great evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I'll see you next time. Not for this. I'll see you on the next video.